Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, for a welcome to Eagle softball field for a district matchup, and a big one, between Woodlands Christian, the Warriors, and Fort Bend Christian Academy Eagles. We're all set. We're just kind of fixing a couple technical things in the trailer. We're just about set to go here. However, we are missing one umpire. Running a little late through traffic, perhaps. So we're going to get going here in a few minutes. We are live and we are ready to go. Woodlands Christian versus Fort Bend Christian coming up as soon as we get that second umpire. Another quick reminder, we are ready to go most of the time. We just have to wait for one more umpire to show up. Hopefully the umpire will show up very soon. We've got a couple of phone calls out by the coaches. So broadcast is ready to go. Press box is ready to go. Teams are ready to go. Hopefully we'll be going here in just a couple of minutes. If you're waiting for the 6 o'clock game between Woodlands Christian and Fort Bend Christian, hopefully getting started very soon. Still waiting on our final umpire to show up. Still waiting. Probably some traffic or something like that. You know how it is. Maybe a train on the track, something crazy like that. So we'll be going pretty soon. Woodlands Christian versus Fort Bend Christian coming up as soon as we get our full umpire crew. Well, every day there's something new at Fort Bend Christian. That was the first time I've ever had an impromptu Star Spangled Banner sung by one of our teams. Star Spangled Banner not provided tonight, so our team just blurted it out themselves. Well done by our softball team. Woodlands Christian visiting a district matchup with Fort Bend Christian. We are still waiting on a second ump, but the single ump we have is that he'll start the game, and hopefully the other gentleman will arrive. So we're going to get going anyway. We're already kind of late enough, about 20 minutes late. So we're going to get this thing started. For the visiting Warriors, lineup today, batting first will be the catcher, Ashley Derelick. Batting second will be the third baseman, Katie Wise. Batting third, the first baseman, Maddie Hopkins. Batting fourth, playing shortstop. And what I'm being told is Houston Baptist bound shortstop, Kenzie Morris. Batting fifth, the pitcher, Kalakai Chamberlain. Batting sixth, the left fielder, Katie Melber. Batting seventh, center fielder, Reagan Harris. Batting eighth, second baseman, Kirby Page. And batting ninth for the Warriors, right fielder, Sierra Blackwell. For the Eagles this evening, leading off will be the pitcher, Avery Hodge. Batting second, the catcher, Hadley Hodge. Batting third, shortstop, Reagan Heflin. Batting fourth, the center fielder, Jalen Lee. Batting fifth, third baseman, Grace Payton. Batting sixth, second baseman, Victoria Harrison. Batting seventh, right fielder, Casey Markwart. Batting eighth, first baseman, Fallon Gerke. And batting ninth tonight, left fielder, Catherine Trin. Fort Bend Christian comes in tonight with an 11-8 overall record. When you look at their record, what they have done for the last, 15 or more years under Coach Kelly Carroll is to fill up their pre-district season with huge tournaments and huge schools and play the best competition they can face. And when they come into district play, that usually benefits them, and they're able to face the best that TAPS and private schools have to throw at them all during the district season and playoffs. And it's served them very well, as at some point we may be able to focus in on the center field wall. That strategy has led us to 7 state championships and some pretty big wins over some of the best schools in the state of Texas. So 11-8 record now for the Eagles. They come into the district at 5-1. The district record for Woodlands stands at, looks like 5-4. Both teams ready to take the field, and our sole umpire looks like he's getting his gear on. So stick with us. We're really, really close to getting going tonight. We'll be right back. Eagles will take the field. And your battery this evening for the Eagles will be Hodge to Hodge. That's senior Avery Hodge to sophomore Hadley Hodge, little sister. Pretty solid battery. Eagles have gone through some of the best pitchers in the state of Texas. Probably the most well-known being Rachel Fox back in the day, the Gatorade Softball Player of the Year of the state of Texas, her senior year. We have graduated most of them, so here we have an all-world shortstop, and I mean all-world, as last summer Avery was in Peru with the under-18 U.S. national team winning the World Cup of Softball. So there's your all-world shortstop playing or pitching this evening, throwing it into her sister, Hadley. Avery is headed to Oklahoma on scholarship next year to play for the Sooners. Taking her place at shortstop is our all-state center fielder playing shortstop. Very adept at shortstop. Reagan Heflin, she's headed to Nicholls State next year. So a lot of softball to be played this year and beyond by these girls. Leading off for the Warriors is catcher Ashley Derlek. Hodge starts her off with the fastball inside. That's a strike on the outside corner. Nice pitch. Avery got the win against Kincaid on Tuesday night. Kincaid out of Houston, one of our oldest and most established schools. That was a good win. Swing and a miss on strike two. Looked like a bit of a changeup. 1-2 count into Derelek. Eagles won 5-2 on Tuesday. Ground ball that hits the third base. Peyton had no chance to make a play after it hit the base. Gets out towards the third base corner, and Trin's going to chase it down. She's going to fire it in towards Heflin. And Derlek's going to end up with a triple. Start off this district game. Good swing, got ahead of that changeup that time. And I mean, it was probably 6 inches fair when it hit the corner of that base, and she hit it hard enough, it rolled all the way to the left field corner fence. Next up is third baseman Katie Wise. Takes a strike, upper part of the zone. That's going to be low and inside. Behind the plate, Hadley also plays a lot of shortstop and infield and outfield for her club teams. You know, you'll see her playing somewhere in college as well when she's done. Swing and a miss on the fastball from Hodge. 1-2 count into Wise. Change up out in front of the plate. No swing, so 2-2 count. That's a nice change up right on the inside part of the plate. Strikeout for Avery Hodge. Wise goes down. There's one out. In the top of the first, if you're just joining us, this is the top of the first as we had some umpire problems, and we're just going forward with one umpire tonight. We don't know where the second one is. Swinging a foul ball, grounded to the right side. Hopefully the second ump will show up. This is a pretty heated district matchup between two good teams. Both these teams have a shot at a district championship. Both of them looking forward to the playoffs. That one's going to be low. It's going to get by Hodge, and Derelict's going to score the first run of the game. Hodge has left a few of these low, and Hadley's been able to block a few. That one got by her. So base is cleared now. That was a little bit low as well. 2-1 into first baseman Maddie Hopkins. Hopkins wearing number 28 this evening. That ball was fouled off to the right-hand side. 2-2. Triple by Derelict. Strikeout by Wise, and then Derelict came in on a wild pitch. That one's a bit high. Full count into Hopkins. And that's going to be low. Hopkins is going to draw a walk. One run in on a wild pitch after a triple. A strikeout and a walk. Avery Hodge trying to get back in charge of the top of this first inning. It's going to be a little up. This is shortstop Kenzie Morris. We mentioned that she's headed over to HBU. That's what I'm told by one of the coaches. Here's your Division I college shortstop being pitched to by Division I college shortstop. Ground ball to Reagan Heflin, and she's going to make, she makes that initial play. Makes that initial play and tries to fire it over, get a double play. Double plays in softball so much harder than double plays in baseball. Bases are so close together. That throw is going to go over the head of Fallon Gerke at first into the dugout, so it's going to be a fielder's choice for Morris. And she's going to get to second base on the throwing error. Pitcher, Kalakai Chamberlain, takes a strike right here. And when I announced Miss Chamberlain's name before the game, her team laughed at me, so I'm guessing I'm saying it incorrectly. My apologies. I'll do my best to figure this one out. Swing and a miss, strike two to Chamberlain. And a swing and a miss. Nice finish up by Avery Hodge, pitching to Hadley Hodge. So you got two strikeouts in that first inning. One looking, one swinging. Warriors scratch a run out after a triple by leadoff batter Ashley Derelict, and she came home on a wild pitch. Going to the bottom of the first inning, it's 1-0 Warriors. Leading off for the Eagles, number 10, pitcher slash shortstop, Avery Hodge. Hodge is batting just under 600 for the year, an insane number. That's going to be outside to start. Avery led off for the under-18 national team. That's a swing grounder towards second base. You're probably going to score that one an error, but I mean, all that is a bobble and a pickup, and with Avery's speed, forget about it. We'll go ahead and list that one as an error as of right now. Avery on first base. We'll see if she'll be moving. Here comes Hadley Hodge. She's got some power, line drive hitter, though. She'll hit some gaps, and her and Avery both can run like the wind. Ball one into Hadley from Chamberlain. Ball two, that one's a little bit high. Chamberlain and Derelict, your battery for the Warriors. That one's just lifted out towards shortstop. And that's going to be Morris with the catch. Fires it over towards first, and Hodge makes it back just in time. So with one down, you're going to have Reagan Heflin come up. She leads the Eagles with home runs this year. She's knocked 3 out of the park. And she leads in RBIs with 38 as well. Knocks that one towards second base. Now it's going to be Page tossing it over to Hopkins. Avery Hodge makes it to second base, but Eagles not being able to get any real solid hits on the ball so far. Chamberlain making them reach a bit. And with 2 down, Avery Hodge on second base, you're going to see Jalen Lee had an amazing game on Tuesday versus Kincaid. I think it was 4, maybe even 5 RBIs, 3 base hits. That's going to be just outside to Lee. Jalen batting right around the 430 mark. And after Tuesday's game, she probably closer to 440 or above. 2-0 count to Jalen. I think I have a base hit here. Will score Hodge and tie the game up. That's a swing and a foul ball off towards the left. 2-1. Jalen also made an amazing catch in center field, saving a run on Tuesday's game. Center fielder for Eagles, and she pops that one foul as well. That'll just make it outside of the stadium. 2-2 count. This first inning, Chamberlain keeping the Eagles batters off balance a bit. Nobody has really put the bat on the ball squarely. Hodge at second base. Jalen Lee looking in a 2-2 pitch. That's going to be slapped out towards third base. And Wise comes up with it, fires over to Hopkins for the third out. Eagles unable to score in the first inning. Going to the second inning, it's 1-0 Woodlands. I was in Miami. I remember watching Benito Santiago play catcher. I'm not saying Hadley Hodge is Benito Santiago, but she's got an arm like that where she just goes down on one knee and sings the ball out to second base. She doesn't allow a whole lot of base runners to advance with her behind the plate. If you're going to try to steal, she's gonna gun you down. Leading off for Woodlands is going to be the left fielder Melber. Woodlands Christian scored in the first inning after a triple, strike one to Melber. A triple by Derelick, and then she scored on a wild pitch. A triple, a strikeout, a walk, a fielder's choice, and a strikeout in the first inning. Now Melber leads off the second. Swing and a miss, strike two. To left fielder, Katie Melber. And they're swinging a miss, strike three. Melber strikes out. That's the third strikeout of the game for Avery Hodge. Next up, center fielder Reagan Harris for the Woodlands. That's going to be a ball high. Hodge gave up a run against Kincaid on Tuesday early as well before the Eagles took hold of that game and ended up winning it 5-2. That's going to be a strike inside corner. Strike called. Number 3, Reagan Harris playing center field. She'll be followed by Kirby Page, the second baseman. Plenty of action in that first inning on defense. Swing and a miss. 1-2 now to Harris. Good defense in that first inning. Had one play that could have been called an error with Hodge, but a couple of nice plays to get some ground outs. That's going to be low and inside. 2-2. Still dealing with just one umpire, unfortunately. He's doing a fine job, got no complaints. Tough to do with just one umpire, especially for a district game, but that's going to be ball 3, high. Full count with 1 out. We're just in the top of the second after our late start this evening. And that's strike 3 called against Harris. That is the 4th strikeout out of 5 outs that have been recorded by the Eagles. So maybe Hodge starting to find a little bit of a rhythm. A lot of what I've seen so far, quite a bit of fastballs inside, outside, up and down, and pretty good changeup as well. That's ball inside. Close, but a ball. Kirby Page is the second baseman, wearing number 1. And she's going to swing at that one. It was low in the dirt, but looks like Hodge took a little bit off of that one. One count. There's a strike called. 1-2. And Hodge is a strike away from striking out the side. What you like to do after giving up that first inning run. That's a little low. Two to Page. There it is. Strike 3. 3 up, 3 down, 3 strikeouts. And Avery Hodge with 5 strikeouts in the first 2 innings. Eagles coming up to bat in the bottom of the second. The bottom of the second, Eagles are going to send to the plate the third baseman, Grace Payton, second baseman, Victoria Harrison, and right fielder, Cassie Marquardt. They'll be facing pitcher, and I think I've got some good advice on this one, Kealakai Chamberlain. I wish I had a redo when I announced the names before the start of the game, but Kealakai, that looks like it is correct. Thanks to my expert statistician and scoreboard keeper this evening. Grace Payton slaps one just fair. That got chalk. Single for Grace Payton to start off this second inning. Just over the head of the third baseman and literally landed on the chalk. Grace Payton starts the Eagles off with a single. Victoria Harrison up to the plate. Victoria Harrison, the standard second baseman for the Eagles this year. Slaps one off towards the right side, just going to be foul. Eagles trying to use all of the field here in the second inning. First inning, we did not get a lot of really good, solid contact from our hitters. Credit that to Chamberlain, keeping them off balance. So far, Grace Payton with a nice hit down the left field line. Victoria Harrison trying to keep that going. That's a ball high. Battery for the Warriors, Chamberlain and Derelict. So far doing their job. That ball's just a little bit in the dirt. Nice scoop by Derelict to keep Payton at first base. Infield for the Warriors, Hopkins at first, Page at second, Morris at short, and Wise at third. In the outfield, left to right, Melber, Harris, and Blackwell. And Harrison squares around a bunt. She fouls that bunt off. It'll be a 2-2 count into Victoria. Ooh, had a pitch to hit there and slapped it right straight back. A Little League coach used to tell me if you swing and you hit it straight back, you're on it. I don't really know what that means. Maybe you got the timing down. Harrison facing a 2-2 count. Payton on first base. Ground ball towards shortstop. And Morris is going to come up firing, and I think they called Harrison safe. That was a close play at first base. I think they called her safe, though, and we're going to have runners at first and second base. A little bit of consternation, perhaps, from the Warriors, as most of them, and maybe even a few of the Eagle fans thought maybe she might have been safe. But you know what? Or, sorry, might have been out, that is. But first and second with nobody out. And up to the plate comes Cassie Marquardt. So Harrison's going to be credited with a single. No error on the play as it's hit out towards shortstop, and I guess the play just wasn't made perhaps quick enough. So Marquardt, right fielder today. She switched off at right field with Victoria Taylor last game. That's a strike into Cassie. 1-1. Still no outs. Payton at second base, Harrison at first base. Good start to the inning for the Eagles. And that slap just straight back. Good cut at the ball. Marquardt on that one. We're at a 1-2 count into right fielder Cassie Marquardt. And puts one out towards center field. That's going to drop in. And here comes Payton home, and she is going to tie the game. That's Cassie Marquardt with a single and an RBI, and the Eagles tied at 1. Up next for the Eagles is going to be your 8-hole hitter, Fallon Gerke, first baseman. And she also comes in with runners at first and second base. Harrison now at second, that's Marquardt at first base. She's going to slap one to get it to the outfield, and now Harrison's going to come in to score. As Marquardt's going to come in sliding into third. Couple base hits in a row right here by the bottom of the Eagles lineup. Gerke gets a single and an RBI. Eagles take a 2-1 lead. So where the Eagles had a hard time in the bottom of the first inning, making good hard contact, they're getting that contact in the second. It's the bottom of the lineup that's doing it. That was your 5, 6, 7, and 8 hitters, all with singles in this inning. Woodlands Christian coach talking to the umpire. Not sure what the discussion is about, but it's cordial. And with Marquardt taking third base, we have a first and third, nobody out situation. And here comes Catherine Trin. Early squaring around to bunt, and she'll take a strike. And that's Gerke stealing second base. No throw as we have a runner on third base. So now we have runners at second and third. Following Trin will be Avery Hodge, the top of the lineup next. Trin slaps one out towards the pitcher. And she put that so perfectly between the catcher and the pitcher that nobody could field it and get her out. Trin hustling down the first baseline. Trin gets a single, the 5th single in a row in the second inning. A single and RBI. Eagles take a 3-1 lead. And it's the bottom of your lineup that have put these 5 hits together. Now with runners on first and third base, Avery Hodge looking to continue the hit streak. That's going to be a ball outside. Trin bluffing a move and nothing happening. So still Trin at first. Gerke at third. Hodge at the plate. Eagles looking to do some real damage here. Hodge puts one out towards center field. This is smacked hard. That is just to the right of the center fielder. That's going to get another run in. It's going to get Trin to third, and Hodge with a double and an RBI. Eagles up 4-1. And we're going to have a timeout and go talk to the pitcher. Chamberlain did an excellent job in the first inning. Eagles were off balance. Nobody really put the bat on the ball very well, and these hitters that are batting like 600 and 500 and 400, they didn't do a whole lot of damage. In the first inning, we had 1 error and 3 putouts, so no damage done by the Eagles. Now here in the second inning, we've got 5 singles followed by a double. So credit to the Eagles hitters for making adjustments. Credit to the Eagles coaches for helping them to understand perhaps what to do against Chamberlain. In the second inning, Eagles with 6 hits, no outs, 4 runs. And your catcher, Hadley Hodge, coming to the plate. Last hit by Avery after getting on base with an E4 in the first inning. Gets that double. It's pretty awesome when you go 1 for 2 and your batting average goes down because you're batting .600. Here's Hadley Hodge. Runners on second and third. That's going to be a ball low. Some coaching on third base by Coach Jacoby with Catherine. That's slapped out towards left field. This is going to score 2. And Hadley Hodge is going to get a 2 RBI double. And the Eagle lead goes to 6-1, and we have not recorded an out yet in the bottom of the second inning. I said this is a tight district matchup. Two good teams. The Eagles have made some adjustments from the first inning and have recorded 7 straight hits to start. That is a ball low as Hadley Hodge tried to steal third base. She will be called out. For the first out of the inning. So Reagan Heflin stands in, our shortstop this evening. She stands in with nobody on base, and she'll foul one back. It'll be a 1-1 count into Heflin. I wonder if Hadley got a steal sign there from a coach, or if she just decided to go because she thought she had an edge. But Derelick gunned her down pretty well. Wasn't really a close play. She shot it down to third base pretty quickly. That's a ball high, 2-1 to Heflin. Ball's up, 3-1. Seen a couple of, we broadcast a couple of softball games this year, and normally you'll see Avery Hodge start pitching, and Heflin will follow in later on, and they'll just switch places. This is a shot out towards right field by Heflin, and right fielder Blackwell makes that play for the second out. So Heflin batting well over 500, 0 for 2 this evening, and in steps Jalen Lee. Grounded out to third base her first time up in the first inning. That's going to be way up. On deck is Grace Payton, who started the hit parade. It's the first of 7 straight hits for the Eagles. Ball 2 to Lee. Center fielder Jalen Lee. Just a bit outside with that one. I mean, just an inch or two. Consistent strike zone so far this evening. You got to put it over the plate. Here comes Chamberlain. That's going to be a strike called on that 3-0 pitch. Lee would like to park one somewhere in a gap, get an extra base hit with 2 outs. Slaps one foul this time. Appreciating this evening the broadcast, Mr. Chris Lee helps to teach the broadcast class here at Fort Bend Christian. Chris Lee setting up all the tech this evening. Appreciate his work in making all this happen. That one slapped foul as well. It's about the 5th or 6th foul ball for Lee so far. Got a couple stationary cameras tonight, and one camera run by Ivan, Jimmy Ducksworth. Appreciate him being here this evening, as well as Jalen Zuber in the truck. That one slapped towards left field. That's a nice looking hit by Jalen Lee. Melber comes up with it and fires it in to hold Lee to a single. So after a ground out in the first, Lee slaps a single out towards left field, and the hit parade continues. Here comes Grace Payton, who singled to start off this inning. 6 runs later, the Eagles are enjoying one of their biggest innings of the season. This is popped up. Camping underneath of it is the catcher. For first pitch swinging for Payton. Ends the inning, but the Eagles get, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hits and 6 runs. And heading towards the 3rd inning, the Eagles lead 6-1. Leading off in the top of the 3rd for the Warriors will be your right fielder, number 14, Sarah Blackwell. And then back up to the top of the lineup with Ashley Derelick, who tripled in the 1st inning, and Katie Wise. Thus far, Avery Hodge has given up 1 hit and 1 run. That's Derelick after she tripled, scoring on a wild pitch. And has struck out 5 out of the 6 outs so far. That's a swing and a miss by Blackwell. Strike 1. Derelick on base. That one is low. One count into right fielder Blackwell. That's going to get that inside corner. Strike 2. Promise, it off the corner. I'm standing right behind, or sitting right behind the base. Good looking pitch there by Avery. And that one is fouled off towards the left-hand side. Good cut by Blackwell on that one. That was almost in the same spot as the last one that had been called a strike, so she was aggressive at it. Blackwell wearing number 14 this evening, facing a 1-2 count. Checked her swing. Eagles bench, of course, cheering for a swing. That's not called a swing. And with only one umpire, you're not going to get a check down to first base or anything. I think it's correctly called. I don't think she went all the way around on that one. So 2-2. That one's fouled off to the right-hand side. Blackwell doing a good job of staying alive. She'd like to get on for Derelick and Wise to follow. Two. That's going to be that inside corner again. Beautiful pitch by Hodge. Hodge, if she can live on that inside corner, good luck driving anything. That's a tough pitch to hit. One down in this 3rd inning. Hodge with her 5th strikeout so far this evening. That one is grounded. She's trying to duplicate what she did in the 1st inning. And she hit a hot grounder that hit the outside of the 3rd base and then rolled all the way to the wall. She ripped that one to earn that triple in the 1st inning. She's ahead of that pitch. It goes just foul. Fouls this one off to the right-hand side. Hodge is aggressive. She's going right after the catcher. Only hit that she's given up today. And Derelick with the only run scored today as well against Hodge. That one's grounded. Did she hit the base again? I think she's going for the world record for how many times in a row in that bats you can hit the third base bag and get on base. This time just a single as Peyton was guarding that third base line. She hits the bag again and she gets another base hit. That's a second base hit in a row for Derelick, a triple and a single. And with one out, third baseman Katie Wise. She grounds one to third base. That is a hot shot to Peyton. That is a tough play to make on that short hop. Probably go down as an E5, but yeah, if I'm over there, I don't want to touch that ball. With runners on first and second base. Derelick on second. And Wise on first base. That's going to be a ball low. One out. Woodlands Christian threatening. Two down, and your three-hole hitter is up. That's going to be a ground ball to Heflin. She's going to go to third. Nice play. Get that lead runner out. Derelick will be out at third. That'll be Heflin to Peyton on the fielder's choice. And up comes number 10, shortstop, Husky-bound, Kenzie Morris. Morris grounded to a fielder's choice first time up. That's going to be a ball high. So now on second base, you've got Katie Wise, and on first, you've got Hopkins. With two down, one out count to Morris. That's going to be low, and both runners are going to advance on that wild pitch. Two-0. And we're trying to settle back in. That's going to be a foul tip. Morris took a big league hack at that one. Warriors bench coming alive a little bit. Rarely a quiet moment in a softball game. This one is ripped towards Heflin. She snags it out of the air, though. That ball was ripped and looking for two RBIs, but Heflin, position right, one step to her right, makes the play and gets the third out. That spelled trouble, but Hodge gets out of trouble with the help of her defense. Heading to the bottom of the third. Eagles 6, Warriors 1. Throw down by Derelick. Also, excellent arm. I mean, when she throws it down to when she throws it down to second base on the throwdown every inning, it looks effortless. You got to figure somewhere along the line she's going to be playing some college ball as well. So Eagles got nothing in the first inning, no hits, no runs. Ended up with 8 hits and 6 runs in the second inning. So here we are in the third inning. Victoria Harrison leading us off, and she got a single in that hit barrage in the second. She singles here as well. First pitch swinging, ground ball. Just past Wise. Fielded out in left field by Melber. Victoria Harrison is 2 for 2. Standing on first for Casey Marquardt, who got a single and an RBI in the second inning. This is our first RBI of the game. Hits one out towards second base. That is a nice looking play. That's Page to Morris to Hopkins. The rare double play. That's a nice play, and HBU Huskies got to be looking at Morris out at shortstop thinking, yeah, she's ours. That was a nice flip and a cannon shot over to Hopkins at first. Swing and a miss by Gerke. Gerke also singled in that second inning. She's looking to go 2 for 2. She can get something started here. Changeup will be high. 1-1 into Fallon Gerke. That's going to be a little bit low. Chamberlain had an excellent first inning. Only base runner was Hodge on an error. Had a hard second inning. Come back in the third now with 2 outs. It's a ground ball by Gerke. Here comes Morris, fires over, and yeah, that's your Division I shortstop right there. That looked pretty smooth. Good inning for Chamberlain, for Morris, and for the Warriors. 3 up, 3 down. Now we're heading towards the fourth. Eagles still leading 6-1. Top of the fourth inning coming up. Warriors will send Chamberlain, Melber, and Harris to the plate. All 3 were strikeout victims in the first or second inning. Galakai struck out to end the first inning. Then Melber and Harris to start the second inning. Hodge standing in has a total of 6 strikeouts in the first 3 innings. And that's going to be a foul straight back by Chamberlain. Good cut at the ball. Chamberlain batting in the 5th spot this evening, followed by the left fielder, Katie Melber, and the center fielder, Reagan Harris. That's going to be a ball outside. Thankful to the Eagles Booster Club. Makes a lot of this broadcast happen. They helped us to build the broadcast trailer, and that's where our broadcast is streaming out of this evening. Thankful to the Eagles administration as well. Group of people who believe in the broadcast team and what's happening. 1-1 count to Chamberlain. She'll foul that one off just to the left-hand side. You can see Peyton really hugging that third base line now as a couple of base hits have gone her way, have hit that third base bag. So she's really playing close to the line, as Gerke is on the first base line as well. 1-2 count into Chamberlain, leading off the top of the fourth. That's going to be a foul ball also off to the left-hand side. Eagles getting all 6 of their runs in that big second inning. Warriors trying to get something started here in the fourth. Get some runs back. Swing and a miss. Avery Hodge with her 7th strikeout. Chamberlain had a good cut at the ball, but she becomes a strikeout victim for the second time. And next up, you're going to have the left fielder, Kitty Melber. Struck one into Melber. That's going to be a strike two. Avery loving that inside corner today. If she can just keep on hitting that, I mean, even your best hitters are going to struggle with the ball right off the hands inside part of the plate. 0-2 into Melber. Slaps one out towards Harrison at second base. Comes up fired to Gerke. Ends up being a 4-3 ground out. Reagan Harris, center fielder, come up with 2 outs. Ball high. Harris was a strikeout victim in the second inning. Struck out looking. Probably one of those inside pitches that Avery's been able to hone in on this evening. That's going to be a ball high, ball 2. Foul ball, strike 1, 2-1 count. 3 seniors on the field this evening. Avery Hodge pitching. Reagan Heflin at short and Grace Payton at third. Grace's sister Hope injured. Hopefully be back in the next game or two. That's a strike. Inside corner again. That's a ball low. 3-2 count with 2 outs. Harris trying to get a base runner. Well, the next batter, Page for the Warriors. And swing and a miss. Hodge gets strikeout number 8. Harris falls for the second time to a strikeout. We're going to the bottom of the fourth. 6-1 Eagles. Make mention of a couple of the students that we've had move on from Fort Bend Christian, but are still working on their broadcasting in college or beyond. Will Scott, which credited with starting Eagles on the air many years ago. Will Scott graduated from Syracuse University a couple of years ago, has done AAA baseball, has called a lot of different games in colleges. He was calling some college basketball this past season. Will Scott now working out of Dallas. Got himself a very nice looking job. Only problem is he has to live in Dallas, but he enjoys the job. We've got Tomas Romo, who's working as a student now at Texas A&M doing broadcasting for their teams, calling a lot of games. And now we've got Abilene Christian University now has found the talents of Cohen Carpenter, and he's announcing games for Abilene Christian. First pitch into Catherine Trin. Trin singled in the second inning. The fifth straight single in the second inning. Swing and a miss on that one, just a foul tip. 1-1 count. Trin got an RBI on that single as well. Little extra coaching from Coach Jacoby at third base. And slaps one out towards right field. Oh, man, nice play. Nice play by Kirby Page. Had to leave her feet to get that one to rob Trin of her second base hit in a row. Ends up being an F4. That was looking to head out towards right field. Again, a nice job by Kirby to make that play. Avery Hodge up for the third time this evening. That'll be a ball just outside. Avery reached on an error in the first inning and a double in the second inning. Got an RBI on that double. That'll be a ball low, 2-0 to Hodge. So Hodge with a double and an RBI to go along with her 8 strikeouts on the mound. Rips one foul. Hodge, a couple of home runs this year. She certainly has the power. Known a little bit more for her gap hitting. She was a leadoff for the under-18 team this summer that won the World Championship for the USA. Pops one up here. That's Morris at shortstop, and she'll make the play. So Hodge ends up 1 for 3 so far today. And Hadley Hodge steps up to the plate. Hadley 1 for 2. She popped out to shortstop in the first inning. But she also followed her sister with another double and an RBI. Two RBIs. Ball low in that second inning. And then was caught stealing when she tried to get to third. Ball low again, 2-0. And Derelick gunned her down, throwing a strike over to Wise. So a lot of aggression by the Eagles. You'll always get that. Here's another base hit. This is out towards center field. Harris scoops it up, shoots it in, but Hadley Hodge gets her second hit of the evening with a single. Reagan Heflin will come up with a runner on first base. Trying to get the lights switched. There we go. We got the lights on. Late start to the game, but sun going down here and field lights needing to come on. Reagan Heflin standing in, hoping to get a hold of one. That's a ball high. Hadley Hodge running. She'll be safe on this one. She's going to scamper over to third. The throw from Derelick getting away from the infielders, and Hodge will get a stolen base And it'll be an E, probably an E2 as that throw was a little bit wide. Stolen base for Hadley. She ends up on third base after the throw. Heflin rips a base hit out to right field. We're going to get another run. RBI single by Heflin. Eagles tack on a run. That's 7-1. Bringing up Jalen Lee. Heflin's got some speed. You may see her try to get into scoring position with 2 outs. Jalen Lee 1 for 2. Grounds one out towards third base again. Tough pickup. And that's going to be kind of a 50-50, whether you want to call that an error or or a single. Third baseman had to take 3 or 4 steps to her left to scoop that up. Reached her arm out as far as she could. I'm gonna go ahead and score that one as a single. Tough call for the official score. But that puts Heflin on second base, Lee on first for Grace Payton. First pitch swinging, pop up towards second base, and there's going to be your third out. So we've got the run comes in for the Eagles on the RBI base hit by Heflin. And heading into the 6th inning, Eagles are going to have a 7-1 lead. Correction, heading into the 5th inning. The umpire was asking if it was the 5th or 6th. So, yeah, we're heading into the 5th inning, top of the 5th. Hodge still on the mound, or on the pitching rubber. I guess there's no mound in softball. But a 7-1 score for the Eagles. Most of the damage done in that 2nd inning. They put 8 hits on the board and 6 runs. Tacked on a run just last inning. No changes for the Eagles on defense. And number 1, Kirby Page, is going to be the leadoff batter here in the 5th for Woodlands Christian. It's a slap out towards right field, just past the glove of Fallon Gerke. That's going to be a single for Page. That is the 3rd hit allowed by Avery Hodge. Leadoff single, being Blackwell to the plate. Blackwell struck out in the 3rd inning, lead off the 3rd inning. Bunts that one just foul. There's that inside. And if you see somebody square it around to bunt early, pretty good move to throw an inside pitch like that. She's been getting that inside pitch called for a strike. That's a tough pitch to bunt right off the hands. Tries it again. That's going to be a call. A called strike. And Page is going to steal second base on that squaring around by Blackwell. Now with a runner on second base and an 0-2 count, probably see Blackwell just standing in to hit. Umpire's going to need to be able to see home plate to make the call. Page standing on second base. Blackwell hoping to get something here to maybe get her in or at least over to third base. And she smacks one foul on that third base line. Warriors have been picking on that third base line all day long. 2 out of the 3 hits have actually hit the third base bag. And that's going to be a smack out to left field. Catherine Trin picks it up, fires it back in. On a single by Blackwell. So with nobody out, we got runners on second and third. Blackwell took second base on the throw. So runners on second and third, nobody out. And here comes the 2-for-2 catcher for the Warriors. She's the one that's been picking on that third base bag all day long. A triple in the first and a single in the third inning. Both of them hit the bag. So here comes your catcher. That pitch is low. Nice block by Hadley Hodge. (1-0) from Hodge. Changeup's going to be outside. 2-0. Avery Hodge, a little bit of trouble in this inning. Runners on second and third, nobody out. She's not breezed through the lineup, but she's been dominating pretty well today. 3-0 is high. It may be kind of the intentional walk here. Don't give her anything to hit. Oh, that's going to be called a strike. 3-1. Derelict being the biggest threat so far today. 2-for-2, triple and a single. Scored the only run on a wild pitch in the first inning. And that's going to be a foul ball. So Hodge works it back to 3-2. Big pitch here, big at bat for both teams. She's not going to get that inside pitch call this time. She's going to load the bases up with nobody out. Derelict takes the walk. I got to agree, that's probably maybe an inch or two further inside than the ones he's been calling strikes today. So consistency from the man behind the plate. Bases loaded. Nobody out. Here's Hodge into Katie Wise. That's going to be a strike call right at the knees. Wise is 0 for 2, struck out and reached on an E5. And that changeup gets her way out in front. Foul ball and 0-2. We are in the top of the fifth. We got a late start tonight with only one umpire showing up. We're still relegated to one umpire tonight. He's doing a fine job, no complaints. Started about 20 minutes late, so we're only in the 5th. That's a strikeout. That's strikeout number 9 for Avery Hodge, and that's huge to get that first out. Bases still loaded. Page, Blackwell, and Derelick all on base now for the first baseman, Hopkins, and that's going to be called inside. Hopkins is 0 for 1, a walk and a fielder's choice. She's looking to put a bat on one here, get a couple of runs in, get the Warriors back into this game. Fouls this one off to the right side. 1-1 count. And that's going to be a foul ball. Good battle here by Hopkins. It's a good pitch by Hodge. Hopkins just gets a piece of it. Stay alive. 1-2. 1 out after 2 straight singles and a walk. Wise struck out. And a slap towards right field. This is going to fade about 5 feet to the right of the right field line. And that saves 2, maybe more runs. Marquardt was over there quickly to grab that one, so it would have been tough to score from first for Derelick, but it would have been close. Count stays at 1-2, and that's going to be outside. 2-2. Hodge looking for a big play right here, a strikeout or a big play by her defense. Inside. Hadley Hodge tries to frame that best she can. That was a good 3 or 4 inches inside. Hodge almost fell down trying to frame it. 3-2. 3-2 with 1 out. Hopkins pops this one up towards second base, just over the head of Harrison. That's going to be an RBI single for Hopkins. Brings the score to 7-2. That's the first RBI for the Warriors, as the first run was scored on a wild pitch. And in steps shortstop, Kenzie Morris. That's going to be a strike. Right about belt high and on that inside corner. That's a good fight by Hopkins that last at bat. Fought from 1-2 and finally got a hold of one. That's a swing and a miss. Nice changeup from Hodge. Oh, 2 count. Swing and a miss. Beautiful job by Avery Hodge to get her 10th strikeout, and that's a huge one to get the second out. Morris goes down swinging. And up comes pitcher Kealakai Chamberlain. She has struck out twice today. Put some good swings on the ball. Nothing really to show for her. She puts out 1 out towards center field. Jaden Lee coming in makes the catch. She had that one off the swing. It was almost as if she knew where that was going to be hit. Starts charging in, makes the catch. And Hodge gets out of quite a bit of trouble with only giving up 1 run on the RBI single from Hopkins. We're heading to the bottom of the fifth inning. Bottom of the fifth inning. And Eagles now lead 7-2. We'll be back. The bottom of the fifth is going to be led off by Victoria Harrison, who this evening is 2 for 2. Single in the second inning, and then she led off the fourth inning with another single. Swinging a good bat tonight. Victoria working on that average. Second baseman tonight. Chamberlain still pitching for the Warriors. Harrison, first pitch swing, and pops one up to second base. Eagles have been aggressive all night long. I'd say maybe 6 or 7 at-bats. They've swung at the first pitch. At least 4 of those have been pop-ups to second and short. They've also got a couple of hits off those swings. With one out, here comes Casey Marquardt. She smacks one on the first pitch over to second base, and a 4-3 ground out. On a work for the Space Cowboys, a one-pitch out is called a yeah boy. We're working on an immaculate inning right here if Gerke swings and makes it out on the first pitch, which I'm not hoping for, but 3 pitches and 3 outs are a possibility right now. Gerke at the plate, swings out towards shortstop, and I don't know if I reverse jinxed that one to happen or not, but literally a 3-pitch, 3-up, 3-down inning for Chamberlain. As Gerke makes that out, that's got to be the fastest inning in the history of softball, the fastest half inning. Now we're headed towards the 6th. Eagles still got a 7-2 lead. The same defense for the Eagles. Hodge still pitching, and her sister behind the plate still. Grace Payton at third, Heflin at short, Harrison at second, and Gerke at first, and then Trin, Lee, and Marquardt in the outfield. And leading off the 6th will be Melber. She takes a strike. Melber's 0 for 2 so far, a strikeout and a ground out to second base. 0-1. Into the left fielder. She pops one out over second base again. That's the third time a ball has been popped just over Victoria Harrison's head, and that is a single for Melber. Her first hit of the evening, bringing Harris to the plate. Harris at center tonight. Your left fielder with a single, hoping for the center fielder to pick something up. Harris is 0 for 2 tonight. She struck out twice. 2 out of Hodges' 10 strikeouts. She pops one up towards center field. Jalen Lee camps out underneath of it, makes the catch. Nothing doing. There's another one of those yeah boys. One pitch out. F8 for Harris. Kirby Page steps in. That's going to be a line over to Avery Hodge. Hodge is going to make the play. And Melber came off the plate thinking the ball was in play, but when Hodge made the catch, threw it over to first base, you get a double play. So a very minimal amount of pitches for Hodge as well. I'm thinking like 4 pitches in that. We just played like a complete inning with, I think, 7 pitches. That's impressive. With that out, we're going to head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Eagles are going to be ahead 7-2. Leading off the bottom of the 6th will be Catherine Trin. Trin is 1 for 2 today. Single and RBI in the 2nd inning, and then a pop out to second base. Catherine's biggest fan of the world is in the press box. First pitch swing, and here, foul ball. The Eagles are extremely aggressive. Including Trin. Swinging at the first pitch right there. 0-1. And a ground ball back to the pitcher. Almost around, picks it back up and fires it over to Hopkins for the out. Trin grounds out, 1-3. And with 1 out, Avery Hodge comes back up for her 4th at bat. 1 for 3, a double, an E4, and a pop out to short. Hodge trying to drive something here just outside. She rips one out towards right field. Single for Hodge. Her second, and I'm not exactly sure what just happened. I don't know what just happened. Somebody called time? I'll take it. We're going to go with a single. Moving Hodge to 2 for 4 today. And I guess she's heading towards second, but somebody had already called time. So ball 1 into Hadley Hodge. Her sister Avery standing on first base. I was wondering why she was going to second base, because she yeah, she would have been out by about 20 feet. Ball low into Hadley. 1-1. 2-0, make it 2-0. Eagles are leading 7-2. Warriors have shown tonight that they can put some runs on. We've made some big plays, but they've had the bases loaded and had a couple of runners on here and there. They've not been able to come through yet. That's Hadley Hodge with a base hit to right. Avery Hodge will go first to third. And there's Hadley. Hadley's going to take second base. You got to love the way softball works. These bases are close enough together that you can take an extra base consistently if you're a wise base runner, and Hadley just did. She singled. Avery got to third base. That's Hadley's third hit of the night, a double and 2 singles. She's got 2 RBIs. And up comes Reagan Heflin with runners on second and third base and 1 out. Heflin is 1 for 3 tonight, a ground out, a fly out, and a single. And she's got an RBI. She rips one out towards second baseman. She's going to beat that play. She's going to get herself an RBI. Probably going to be an E4, but it would have been an RBI nonetheless. The runner on third. So Avery Hodge comes in to score on Heflin's RBI, bringing up Jalen Lee. Jalen Lee 2 for 3 tonight, a ground out, 2 singles. Looking for another hit and her first RBI of the night right here. Squares around to think about bunting, mainly just to get Heflin over towards second base. No throw down to second. So now runners on second and third. With 1 out. And she rips the ball up the middle. That's going to be 2 runs. Jalen Lee with her third hit and her first 2 RBIs of the night. Her third single. And the Eagles push the score up to 10-2. Aggressive again. Eagles not letting strikes go by. They see it in the zone. They are swinging the bat tonight. And here comes Grace Payton. Grace is 1 for 3. A couple of pop-ups and then a single. Led off that huge second inning. Swing and a miss here. That 6-run second inning that put the Eagles on top. Timeout will be called by third base coach Kelly Jacoby. If you haven't heard yet, all-world head coach Kelly Carroll retiring at the end of this season. Kids are getting a little bit older, and she's getting more involved with things outside of school. So she'll be moving on as far as coaching goes. Kelly Jacoby, who's been with her just about the last 15 years or so, will take over. Swinging in a foul ball by Payton. 0-2 count into Grace. That's a changeup and a nice one as Payton strikes out. Second out. And Jalen Lee still standing on first. And here comes Victoria Harrison. Harrison 2 for 3, 2 singles and a pop out. Changeup is high and out. Eagles putting 3 on the board in this inning so far. All up and down the lineup today. First with the bottom of the lineup, then with the top of the lineup. Eagles have been getting hits and scores. That's a base hit down the left field line. A la Derelict, just like she does, right over that third base bag. Eagles taking advantage of that same kind of a play. A single by Victoria Harrison. Her third hit of the night gets Jalen Lee over to third base. And with 2 outs, Casey Marquardt comes to the plate. Casey in right field tonight. She is 1 for 3. She has a single. Couple of ground outs. That's a foul ball. She's looking for that left field line as well. I mean, it works for the Warriors. Might as well work for the Eagles tonight. Wish it would have kept a stat tonight on first pitch swings. How many times the Eagles are just coming after the ball every time. That's a grounder over to Chamberlain. She fires it over to Hopkins for the third out of the inning. Eagles are going to go into the 7th inning. They need 3 outs to wrap up this 10-2 game. We'll be right back. Heading into the 7th, looks like no changes for the Eagles on defense. And Avery Haas looks to go the distance here if she can get 3 outs. I don't know how many complete games she has, but in this first 6 innings tonight, she's given up 2 runs on, looks like 6 hits, and struck out 10. A good game. The 10-2 score might look a little bit gaudy. Warriors have threatened several times. Avery has made pitches and her defense have made plays to help keep her out of a lot of trouble. Blackwell leads off for the Warriors. 0-1 into Sierra, Warriors right fielder. She smacks one out towards center field, just away from the glove of Harrison. Blackwell with her 2nd hit of the night. That's her 2nd single. She stands on first for person who's done the most damage tonight for the Warriors. Your catcher, Ashley Derelick. In order, she's got a triple, a single, and a walk so far this evening. That's going to be a strike right at the knees. So the Warriors have been pretty aggressive at the plate, too. Not as aggressive at the Eagles, who've swung at maybe 20 first pitches. So 0-1, and that's going to be low and inside. That's going to be outside, 2-1. Derelick not only having a good game at the plate, but also behind the plate. Threw out Eagles base runner trying to steal third base earlier in the game. She hits a high pop out towards left field. This is going to be Reagan Heflin taking charge, grabs that fly ball, and there's going to be one down. That's a big out. First time they've gotten the catcher out tonight. And here comes Katie Wise. Eagles 2 outs away from wrapping up this big district matchup. Wise is 0 for 3 tonight. A couple of strikeouts to go with reaching on an error. That's going to be inside. Is going to be a wild pitch. That gets Blackwell over to second base. That's an inside pitch. 2-0 into Wise. Base hit here by Wise. Might be able to drive in Blackwell. Eagles will probably give up a little bit to get an out here. That's a foul ball straight back. 2-1 count into Wise. That's going to be a ground ball out towards Heflin. Heflin's going to fire over to Gerke in time. Nice play by Reagan Heflin. Again, naturally, for a club, she plays outfield. She is an all-state outfielder, but stepping in for shortstop to let Hodge pitch tonight. She made some big plays and made a good play there to get Wise. 2 outs in the 7th, 1 out away from a win. Eagles focus in on getting Maddie Hopkins, first baseman. That's high and tight. One 0 pitch. It's going to be a little low. 2-0. Hopkins 1 for 2. She got a walk and a single to go along with the fielder's choice. And just foul tips that one back. 2-1 now into Hopkins. Hopkins has the only RBI of the night. She got that in the 5th inning. Put the second run on the board for the Warriors. That's going to be a strike. 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Eagles trying to scratch out this last out and wrap up this game. That's ball low. And with the wild pitch is going to get Blackwell over to third, and then an errant throw by Hadley Hodge is going to get Blackwell home for the 3rd run. So now a 3-2 count with 2 outs, nobody on base for Maddie Hopkins. She's going to slap one out towards Harrison. Gloves it, but just can't come up with it. A nice play by Victoria. Couldn't keep it inside of the glove, so that'll go down as a single for Hopkins, her 2nd hit. Bringing up Kenzie Morris, your shortstop. Warriors with some 2-out life here. That's going to be a ball high. By the way, we finally did get our second ump. He snuck his way in about an inning or so ago. So we've got 2 umps for about the last inning and a half. 1-0 pitch, swing and a miss. 1-1. Morris put a big swing onto that one. Just missed it, 1-1. Change up, gets another swing and a miss. That'll be Hopkins taking second base and no throw because with 2 strikes, the Eagles don't really worry about it. 1-2 count into your shortstop for the Warriors. About to take a 1-2 pitch from the shortstop from the Eagles. That's a swing and a miss. This game is going to end on the 11th strikeout by Avery Hodge. Eagles going to take this big matchup, his district matchup, an important district matchup, 10-3. Congratulations to the Eagles. They move to 6-1 in the district, 12-8 on the season. Keep track of Eagles on the Air on Instagram, on Twitter. You can look us up. We'll be announcing upcoming games. Thank you to Ivan, Jimmy Ducksworth on camera. Thank you to Jalen Zuber in the truck. Thank you to Mr. Lee for setting everything up this evening. You guys have a good night.